Remakes, there's just too many of them. I mean, why remake a film when the original is already good? Even a classic.
It's just about money, isn't it?
Well, on this episode of Spectrum Review, we are talking about a remake that actually managed to impress me. Let's talk about Nosferatu. The year is 1922. The German production company Prana Films endeavors to make a film about Dracula, the only problem being they are unable to attain the rights of the novel by Bram Stoker. Prana Films decide to move forward on the project, keeping the premise of the novel, but changing the setting of England for Germany as well as character names and other various details to avoid paying royalty. This includes renaming Count Dracula to Count Orlok, played by Max Schreck. The title of the film is Nosferatu, directed by F.W. Murnau. What follows were accusations of copyright infringement and demands to destroy all copies of the film. However, several prints survived this campaign, and ever since, Nosferatu built a strong legacy as an influential masterpiece of cinema. In 1979, German director Werner Herzog remade the film but kept the original names from the Dracula novel. Then in 2024, the incredible most recent remake of the film has been released, directed by Robert Eggers. This is director Robert Eggers' fourth film after The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. These are all great in their own right. Robert Eggers has stated Nosferatu as his passion project, and it shows. The result is a film that really captivated and impressed me in many ways. Incidentally, he also directed a stage version of Nosferatu when he was in high school. The story is set in 1838 in Germany and follows the obsession between a haunted young woman, Ellen Utter, played by Lily-Rose Depp, and the ancient Transylvanian vampire stalking her, Count Orlok, played by the mysterious Bill Skarsgård, leading to untold horror. Much of the horror and fright of the film is achieved by its deliberate and beautiful cinematography. I like that majority of the scenes were filmed in one take, which is uncommon convention for the horror genre. I personally find it boring when a scene has many cuts compared to when it films as one take. In my view, longer takes provide a realism and liveliness that serves to enhance the suspenseful pace that Robert Eggers wanted to achieve with this project, showcasing Eggers' background as a theater director. Robert Eggers gave this version a more folkloric approach in keeping with his previous film while maintaining an air of historical authenticity packed with a strict attention to details. Take for example Eggers' The Lighthouse. In order to feel the vibe of the 19th century, it had to be filmed in black and white as color photography hadn't existed yet, and shot on 35mm film with period-specific camera and lens in keeping with the spirit of the era. The cinematography in Nosferatu reminds me of Stanley Kubrick's film Barry Lyndon, which is known to be lit mostly by candlelight and gave it a more natural beauty while giving insight into what it was like to live during a time without electricity. I also really love the music in the film. Composer Robin Carolan intentionally moved away from the typical horror score and focused more on the film's melancholic and tragic elements, which is exactly why I liked it, and I listened to it at least every week since November 22nd when it was released. I found the use of the music box motif most effective and challenging. Eggers and Carolan struggled to perfect the sound and describe it as having an almost telepathic quality. Carolan also tried to fit some contemporary instrumentation into the setting of the 19th century due to Robert Eggers' emphasis on authenticity. The music employed vast orchestration with no modern sounds added. I really love the fact that Bill Skarsgård's character was kept mysterious in the marketing of Nosferatu. I feel that if they showed him, it would have ruined the movie because in some way, he's not the one the story is about, but he is causing what's happening in the story. It's almost as if Count Orlok is this invisible force that causes horror. And what was also interesting is the way Orlok's first appearance is darkly lit with candles a la Barry Lyndon in order to maintain the spirit of mystery and the unknown to add to the horror. I appreciated that Skarsgård didn't want his character voice to be digitally modulated. He worked with an Icelandic opera singer in order to lower his vocal range, but I can't show it because I don't want to spoil you the surprise. In my opinion, the best scenes are the one with Lily-Rose Depp. This movie belongs to her. I never saw her in anything before. I feel she should have been nominated for an Oscar for this movie, as she is the emotional center of the film, particularly for the scene where she is possessed and can't deal with it, which worries the people who cares for her. She did all her possession scene herself rather than having a double, displaying her devotion to the role. She really captured me. I could feel what she is struggling with by being possessed by an evil spirit and caring for her husband, who she loves and wants him to be with her so she can feel safe. I also find myself reminded of The Exorcist, which is one of my favorite films, whereas in The Exorcist we don't know why the girl is possessed. In Nosferatu she is clearly possessed by a vampire.
I shall persist to join you every night, first in sleep, then in your arms.
It is clear to me that Robert Eggers was very invested in this film and wanted to experiment some cinematic aspect in order to finally achieve his passion project. I see a bit of his first film The Witch that also deals with the theme of possession. If you ask me, I suspect The Witch was probably a project he created to get him close to Nosferatu. One of the film's theme is definitely love and shame. The absence of love in Ellen's life made her vulnerable to Nosferatu's trap. Now, those who cares for her, like her husband Thomas and her friends, are forced to live with the consequences of her past misfortune, embodying Ellen's shame. Meanwhile, the Count is a manifestation of the trauma she had tried to bury, a reminder of her past that she never truly confronted. For years, Ellen managed to keep her shame hidden, but her relationship with her husband forced her to face it once more. Because she never deals with it, not only does her past haunt her, but it travels to those she loves, and the shame she felt to rid herself of spreads the infection outward. These themes really touched me. I've had some dark periods in my life where I felt down and sad, and I realized that my emotions were affecting people in my own personal orbit. I like that Robert Eggers used the horror genre to bring these themes to light to a level that I often feel that most horror doesn't bring in any relatable sense. I highly recommend this film for people who are horror fan or fan of Robert Eggers. I think you are gonna love it. As a fan of Robert Eggers, I qualify this one as his masterpiece because this one, not only it was his passion project, but he also achieved something that really attracted me and gave a great sense of spectacle. I loved it so much that I saw it 3 times in theater. If you have the chance to go see it in theaters, go for it. I give this movie 4 Monstrous Donkeys out of 5. I am very excited for Eggers' next film that will be released on Christmas of 2026 called Werewolf, and also announced that he will write and direct a sequel for Jim Henson's Labyrinth.
Dance, magic, dance, magic, dance, magic.
Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you for another review. See ya!